FABIYI live on social media. I'm live on TikTok, I'm live on Instagram. And it's been a hectic weekend and start of the week. I have been out since Sunday, and the mission is to update and let fellow Nigerians, youths, younger people that believe in the Nigerian dream, that believe that this country can get better. So I was out on Sunday, 1st of September, to inform everybody, to let them know what are going to be the modalities, our movement and everything during the peaceful demonstration. I'm going to be having my introduction, and I'm going to be saying one or two things so that everybody can key into this. When somebody's right is being abused, it is my business. When somebody is experiencing violation, it is my business. When somebody's life is being threatened or taken, it is my business. When somebody needs a voice, it's my business. But when somebody wants to eat rice in the morning and feel that he doesn't want rice, he wants to eat amala, it's not my business. The essence of it becoming my business is because the essence of living is to look out for one another and put adequate value to human lives. Any society where human lives are no longer of value, that is why you see that the society will no longer be owned for those that own that society. And to be honest with you, Nigerians, there is this belief that some people say Nigeria cannot get better. Why? Why do you think it can get better? Why do you think they are saying so? Number one, they did a serious problem. They did a serious damage and evil to history in Nigeria. And I need to take us back to memory lane, because I am concerned about what I will give as legacy for my child. It's better I don't even give birth to children. If I know I will not use my present day to contribute my quota so that this country can get better in key areas that concerns everybody. What is the point living now? Living in fear, in silence, and then go and ask your child to inherit that. If they are told you Nigeria cannot get better, if they are told you because there is a series of criminality, evil people in government, in everywhere, and you accept it, it's because you are the same thing. Then you need to remind them, was it not the same Nigeria in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s? People were traveling to Nigeria to come and take care of their health. UCH, Luth, these are hospitals that treat people with utmost professionalism of world standard, because they assume and they believe and they conclude that doctors in Nigeria are the best. And of course, when Nigerian doctors, whether they go and do COS, masters, anywhere outside Nigeria, they are willing and ready to come back to Nigeria to practice. If they tell you Nigeria cannot get better, tell them what happened in that year. That people, foreigners, were coming to Nigeria. Ghanaians, they want to die and do everything in Nigeria. If they tell you Nigeria cannot get better, tell them there was a time Nigeria pounds was bigger than the dollars, was bigger than the pounds. Nigeria naira. If they tell you Nigeria cannot get better, tell them there was a time traveling abroad is like you're going far away, and then people will have to come together. They will have to put up a party to send you off, hoping that they will see you very soon. You need to understand that every Nigerian will need to rise up and fight for this country. We don't have to destroy Nigeria to make Nigeria better. We just need to up our game, up our courage, up our patriotism and commitment to this country. We have lived too long under military rule, and we assume that now that we are enjoying or we have democracy, we now give the same fear to everybody in political power. And those in political power think it is okay to just take the same belief. Since Nigerians don't want to grow, and they kill everything fundamental about us. And that is why when I have filmed for 2 decades and more, 20 years plus, I said, you know what? It is time for me to start giving back to my society. This is the same society that has invested so much in me. And they are still investing. They are still believing in me. They are showing me love. I'm talking about exceptional love, home and abroad. I can tell you for free that most of the places I've been to, all over in Canada, in America, in UK, in South Africa, in Belgium, in Italy, in France, in Spain, in Holland that I've been to, all of these countries, 99.9% of the people I stayed in their houses are just Nigerians. They are not my blood related persons. And that is why I am calling on you. Now that we are getting to wake up, justice for MOHBAD is just a postal issue, postal situation that we need to hold firmly to ensure that we take this country back to the hands of the masses, to the hands of the public. We need to understand that if we start to lose if we lose our comfort, our safety under our roof, then we have lost the country. I am sick and tired. Let me be honest with you. One of the things that keeps pushing me, I am sick and tired seeing what Nigerians go through living abroad. Before Nigerians can get papers, what they subject our people to is not right. Before they can have legality, what they go through, what they endure is not just okay with me. And that is why I am appealing to Nigerians abroad that you have crossed the Atlantic, that you are now living in a society where justice, peace, security is a core pillar of that society. You need to understand that you are only there not just to escape. You are there to look back and contribute to your quota. If you cannot join an NGO, try and find like minds, form one, and decide and make it a point of call that how do we inject the ideas we see abroad. They cannot do anything because Nigerians here are also contributing to the progress of the economy over there. So there is no way you will not try and say you want to give back to the country that bets you. You must bring ideas there and ensure that it's established here. It is germane. So if you see anybody, don't mind them. Some of them are not informed. Some of them are cursed. Some of them are going to be part of the problem of Nigeria, even if Nigeria gets better. When they see people fighting for justice and they think the best thing they can use social media to do is to gag or to talk them down, I don't see what they write. I don't give life to what people write in that way. I am willing and ready to sacrifice my life, my everything for the growth of my country. We have Nigerians in military, in police sector. They risk their lives every day for the safety we are having now. But if we fold our arms and not cooperate with them and not assist them, nothing can be done. I left my house, my comfort zone. I left Abeokuta on Sunday. I just returned today. I was going from house to house, corner to corner, chemist to chemist, pub to pub, house to house, searching for things that I will use to support. If a family, if some set of people are demanding that justice should be served, that somebody has been killed or somebody died somebody died in a mysterious way, it's important for us to know that that is their right. Every human being has got rights to life. If that is the way they buy people in US, in Canada, in America, in South Africa, and everywhere, me, I know they go in. I won't buy my ticket to go to where they will kill me anyhow. So we are used to abuse. We are used to oppression. Because the military, they stay too much in power. And we assume that anybody in power now has the same orientation. The reason why we say we don't want military is because we don't want them to use that kind of power. Because those set of people are not meant to determine the affairs of internal affairs of a country. That is why you will see people be getting scared unnecessarily. That is why people will do anything in the house. They will maim. They will attack. Domestic violence is one of the biggest things that we have to look into as a society. Because if everybody understands that, oh, don't do this. If you do this, you might go down for it. Whatever it is your temperament, you need to contain it. Whatever it is a scorn you have, you need to contain it. Then we will have a peaceful society. Picture the child you are holding now. Picture your child now. Or picture yourself that what your parents have labored on you. And when it is time for you to... You have a dream for your parents. You think that, okay, my parents have done this. Let me see how I can be there for them later on. You are their hope. And suddenly somebody takes that life without recourse. So we have to look at it and understand that you might not like the fact that as an actor, I chose human rights. It's your cup of tea. I'm not bothered. I am not going to ask you that, okay, what should I... Tell me what I can do to contribute my quota to the society after all they've given to me. If you say you're popular, they will ask you, what are you famous for? And that is why I said, you know what? Nothing stops me in filming. But I need to understand that I have been given a power by the same masses. And I must be able to put a fair balance into how I use the power given to me and how I use the power back to the society. And that is why, irrespective of the cases I've been to, irrespective of advocacy I've been to, I decided nobody can kill my fighting spirit. You don't have to kill before you make it in life. You don't have to kill before you progress. You don't have to destroy me. You don't have to bring me down. And that is why I am extremely careful. I'm taking my time to avoid going into litigation or confrontation with anybody that I feel like still needs orientation. So it's germane. If I live my life, a life where people can be able to get informed, know their rights and stand for it, if it will still mean I will take a break from filmmaking, I don't mind. I have just said it. I am willing and ready to risk everything so that human right becomes a core value in Nigeria. Everybody knows that with human rights there will be peace. With human rights, there will be equal justice. With human rights, there will be development. If human rights is protected, anarchy will reduce. If every uninformed person is cushioned into the ideas and the frontiers of human rights, they will understand basically that, oh, this is the essence of life. They killed the idea of history. They ensured they distinguished the idea of knowing your rights, protecting your rights, and fighting for your rights. I'm going to be telling you what I discovered in the course of my, private investigation. And some people do not know the difference between private investigation and secret investigation. When I mean private, it means personal. It's not government. If it is a secret investigation, of course, journalists can go into secret investigation, police can go into secret investigation. But if it is an open one, if you want people to know what you are investigating, it can be public or private, and it's going to be an open investigation. But for all I care, I know there are certain things that I came in contact with that ordinarily are where the police are meant to have traversed in the course of the investigation into what killed MOHBAD, or what by MOHBAD, sorry. I know I owe a duty. I have never met MOHBAD. And I started advocating, I started talking about justice for MOHBAD almost about the second or third day he died. And I never stopped since then. My quest for justice is not because I am after anybody. I didn't put up an attitude to show that I am after anybody. And up until now, I am not after anybody. I am only after every lead that will prove to the world that this is what transpired. And we all learn from it. And don't mistake this. It is from one case like this that ideas will be formulated to see how every human being can well be protected in this country. If it did not happen, we might not be able to look into angles at which we should create and formulate new laws and precautionary measures. If at the end of the day, one of the things that helped to resolve this matter, because whoever did what they did to MOHBAD, they thought they've cleared all evidences. If eventually, that is one of the things that you look into, CCTV might be one of the key things that will resolve the puzzle. And when it did resolve that, we as a society will understand that, you know what, give us state police and make it a compulsion. If you have a house, if you have a small business that has roof, you must install a CCTV. So definitely, if you are setting up your business and we have power supply, if you have your CCTV, it's natural that people who want to come and purify, who want to come and steal, who want to come and attack you, will think about it, that it's been documented. My images are there. And before you know it, every individual, hold on guys. So, you need to understand that this is how society develops. We cannot continue to think that Nigeria will remain underdeveloped. It's because you're not playing a role. And I have this question to ask from my investigation, my research. Because whether they like it or not, we will have to we are the society, we are the people. We will make a stand and a firm decision. They will need to first and foremost change those investigative teams. They have done their bit. I have no problem with the police. As we speak now, we still need the police. I see you, my sister. We still need the police. We cannot do without the police. We need to speak an honest truth to ourselves. All of us, we have turned our back for too long from the police. It is time for us to ask and demand the kind of police we want for our country, so that when we have it, we'll know that we will blame the police less. There will be limited things we have to blame them on, though we will continue to criticize them so that they won't be so complacent. We have turned our back too much on the police. Hardly will you see a Nigerian that will tell you, I know how much was budgeted for Nigerian police for 2023. You're a young person, you have a degree. You want security. You want police to put their lives on the line for you. But if they ask you how much was budgeted for the Nigerian police in 2023, you can't say. You are not ready to fight and defend the police that they are being underfunded. But they can always bring you together and say, go and fight that the money you voted for the senators is not enough. We need to stop all that nonsense. We need to look at the key institutions that will give us the semblance of security. Because I cannot phantom. Why am I having my child? As we speak now, if in the next few years, I'm going to be leaving my child behind. But I'm going to be leaving my child with epileptic power supply. I'm going to be leaving my child with fear that don't talk. Don't assist other people that are voiceless. Don't speak when somebody is being used, when somebody's right is being trampled upon. I have not left anything for that child. And I'm leaving garbage for my child. That is not a legacy. I failed that child. They have used us partly to develop their country. We should use the way they have developed their own country. We should just take the template and become united to develop our own country. So if anybody is telling you Nigeria cannot be like America, Nigeria cannot be like UK, it's because they themselves are the part of the problem. The same Nigeria was better in terms of health than UK, than America. They were coming to take treatment in Nigeria. Trains were working. Look at LLC, including all states. There were train tracks that were working effectively. But we had the military regime too much, and they destroyed our psyche, and at the end of the day, they instilled fear. So every household, they tell their children, don't talk. They will buy you. Don't talk. And it's because one of the things they use is they set people up. They put trap, and then they start to oppress and persecute that person, and you all fold your hands, knowing fully well that there is no truth in what they are doing. I think this person must either be speaking the truth somewhere or demanding for his rights, and they decide to do this to him. That is why they cook up a particular crime and they say he has to face the law. They asked me to tell you people to power tap. What do you say? They are flagging. I don't know what that means, but if it is going to retain this broadcast, please do whatever you need to do to retain this broadcast, because I'm speaking to you directly. Now look at it. Ask yourself. If you have two phones, you can join me on my Instagram. I'm also on Instagram as we speak now. Tobati suffering in Nigeria, Nigeria cannot get better. Nigeria is this is because those people that are saying it, they are not just only part of those that are Canada. They are part of the people that are not doing anything to make it better. And that is why they want you to condemn somebody like me. I am living a life of example. I came down from my high horses. Where I need to beg, I beg. Where I need to come down and say, please. Where I need to make calls. I went into homes that I don't know them. I pressed the buzzer. I said, I'm not coming to beg money. I am only trying to help so that my country can get better. So that what I am doing now will indirectly save my own child and the child of my fans and people and loved ones. It is your duty as well. If you are far, you need to see how you can volunteer. It is time for everybody to start thinking that the more I used to dedicate my time to go to clubs, to go to parties. And that, in turn, is not making the country go forward. Okay, now let me keep a fair balance. If I go to parties, I will need to take my time. I need to go to what? To demonstrations where they would formulate ideas that will show the will of the people. How can you live a life whereby we need to start toning down on things that we call this fear? Because at the end of the day, stop telling your children that they will buy. It is a natural gift all of us owe. But if you live, eat, dress, go to work, do fashion, come on social media, something will buy you. But if you are in the course of fighting for things that will not create a burden for your children, you will realize that you will live. You will even live longer than you thought you would live. Because at the end of the day, look at what is happening to our parents. I am not ready to go into politics. I'm not ready to take political position before I play a role. I have a role to play. I took my time. I have been educating, informing myself on things that has to do with law, things that has to do with human rights. Pick a part in the society and be meticulous about it. Be passionate about it. I don't support crime. I will never support crime. I don't indulge it. But I hate oppression. I don't like when people use power. You use criminality. You use evil. And then you push it onto the feet of the law and say, there is a place in our constitution. All this criminality, all these things I've concocted, it has a place in our law because inside this law and the people, there is something called ignorance. There is something called fear. When we pack it up and we package it for them, they will look at the sentiment, they will not be objective, and that person will have his or her right taken, and they will not speak up. I am tired seeing my country. Many Nigerians, I can't stand it again. You need to love your country. I have said it repeatedly. Activism is not abusing or placing curses on leaders. It's not activism. Activism is not destroying public properties. Activism is not attacking police officers and killing them. Forget about what you think about them. Look inward and say, am I honest with myself? Do they have the necessary capacity to even do what I am asking them to do? But be that as it may, we still need to stand on the... Okay, now look at it in the course of my investigation. Part of the key evidences that I will need to get, I know that I have to use money to get it. Because if I don't want to touch on that, but whatever the case may be, for the evidence to get to my hand, money will need to be dropped. If we want police to go through all this, the CCTV and do whatever, even to do forensic, to do autopsy, in your honesty, the budgets available for them, whether at the local level or even at the police command, how many autopsy can the police undertake in a month? How many? And some certain crimes or some certain pie issue, or kind of issue like that when they buy somebody at home, they require that kind of level of investigation. So the question is this. They are making us to understand that somebody fought MOHBAD. Now to the main topic where I'm here. I want you all to listen critically. So the moment you are silent, so that you know that if you are silent about this, if it now gets to your turn, maybe somebody at your workplace feel like, I don't just like this person, or he's gotten promotion, or your son or your daughter, and they decide to do that, then you know that, oh, I am now reaping the consequence of my silence in this case. I was hating on those that are demanding justice because I was acting like, oh, I want that person to be buried so quickly. They assumed the body for a purpose. If they try to deliver injustice after going through the rigor of exhuming the body, I asked as a parent to stand a chance to say, you know what? I don't know why you're in hurry to do this. You have to take your time. It's not easy for me to know that after I thought he's been late to rest, you need to do that. You must do do everything necessary. I'm no longer in a hurry again. I am not, at this point, there is no sense in getting unnecessarily in a hurry. I would rather wait and ask you to do the right thing. And if you have not given me what I want, then there's no point. Now, this is it. Give and take. Give and take. They said there was a fight at the club. And there was an injury. Normally, if somebody is going to eat the glass, it's going to be here. Let's now assume there is injury here. I'm going to be saying this to Mama MOHBAD. Search your conscience. I'm going to speak to you in Yoruba, Mama. For them, to forget one need láti wá nurse tó máa wá tọ́jú MOHBAD. Ọmọ tẹbí. Wọ́n wá rò pé ọmọ yín need ìwòsàn, ó need ìtọ́jú ní kíákíá. Ẹni tó wá pè kó wá tọ́jú ẹ̀. Ó lóhun ò lè ráyè. Òun ò sí Nàìjíríà ó di jọ́ kejì. Bẹ́ ṣe wáyé. Tẹ́ bá mọ̀ pé hospital àbí clinic wà ńbẹ̀ yẹn, ǹjẹ́ ẹ ní gbéra lọ pé tọ́mọ mi ò bá tiẹ̀ fẹ́ jáde, I need to go and find succor for my child. Now, who was taking decision for MOHBAD? Who spoke on his behalf to the nurse that, okay, what told me Magbedro Diola? Because MOHBAD is not alive to tell us he made that decision. So who made that decision that it should contain the pain? So, don't make me look like a fool. Don't play on my intelligence. So none of them could tell you and then they investigate. But hospital. Toba 8 hospital. They forgot to tell the police that, oh, we went to go and buy aspirin. We went to go and buy this. So nobody knows that there is a chemist very close to his house. Because I went there. There is a chemist which is like, and President Tinubu and Leti MOHBAD, he can still trek to that chemist and nothing will happen. So, and you were showing us that picture. The day they called in us, nobody even said they bought aspirin or anything for him. The second day, nothing. And they were making those decisions on his behalf. Nowhere did not say I spoke to him and he said, okay, when are you coming? Yeah. If MOHBAD sang, if he said 10 years I know see mommy, if that is one of the reasons you are holding your child back, you are holding him in your chest, I'm going to appeal on his behalf. Forgive him and stand and fight for your child. Because if if the consequence is going to come, if your son decides to start fighting you back, I dare anybody, no matter how powerful, they can't save you. Okay, Kowati, I just borrow it one white to the Mopomo, you fellows, ebi mo be coming, Moshe Kuroni, Kilo to put me on you. Kosife Yembe. Oh, some people all over now Gufun, oh, they're permitting mo be coming, ever one, I know, I love because could they see Bushi Ferry? See what the baby report she wa. Towa Yeba Wudo Yeta to Yako sit over. Why you pay here, come on me, to Baba? I have to speak the truth to you. Duty of care and value for human lives is sacred. I'm saying this because FF people no cover. It's clear. They know you know they've tampered with the crime scene. At least somebody at least confirmed that Mohbad died inside the house. Let's go by that. And then, Olopa, I know it's not easy, but please, there are evidences that you can get legally. They are sitting around there. If I have gotten anything, or if I have any clue, it's not going to be acceptable in the court of law for now. Except the police, you swing into action, or the coroner inquest gives an order that they should traverse towards that side. Every timing to nurse debe. Even I want me to day before nurse and reacting that something happened to Mohbad inside the house. The evidence is sitting there on the street around that house. It's the CCTV is there, they have the timing. So if you're going to back it or if you defend anything, you need to use your brain because or I might you. I will continue to preach against domestic violence. We all must learn. You need to control your emotions. I know sometimes provocation, that's why it's not good. Don't provoke. Don't lead people on into committing crime. And that is why it's sacrosanct. I am doing this not because I am against anybody. I am doing this because I care about my country, and I know that for this case to have blown out, we have a role to play. It's out because we have a duty for the next generation. If I don't do this now, if I am scared to do this, and I still have a child I'm leaving behind, I have failed that my child. That child will have to be inheriting the same level of fear here and there, cowardice. Tebari, every pitoma logo kini every timing. Ìgbà tí wọ́n dé, ìgbà tí nurse ṣe dé, kó tó di pé wọ́n ṣe wá package Mohbad tí wọ́n gbé lọ. So now they are acting, they are not looking for Calvary for him. You would ask yourself, tell your lock pateba she because if you think this might not snowball, I am telling the police I don't even understand what crisis is all about. Manage this crisis very well. I'm appealing to the Nigerian police. Go and check the timing and say, forget about it. What are you telling us? All of you in the house. Now look at it. I was at the hospital. I know what I had. I spoke to several other people. I spoke to some security officers. I spoke to people around the house. Mohbad, he played music often. They make a lot of noise at the house. He is always on generator. Even when there is, he's always on generator. Even Tinobawa. And somebody in that community, because the person was gathering a different evidence, he will never have access to some certain information and record voice or conversation. And that is why the police needs to go there and do their work. But don't let us forget that the police that we are challenging to go and do it, in your honesty, ask yourself, where can the Nigerian police carry out post-mortem or autopsy in Nigeria? Except the federal university, federal university hospitals and stuff like that. But as a medical student, as a student of criminology, have you gone to the place to check if the facility is up to date and advise that, please, I voted for you. Can you budget money so that this thing can be upgraded? Are you expecting the same police that cannot protest to start talking to the same people in government that this particular, even if they write, it must always be a memo that must not go out. I cannot be everywhere. And that is why I'm challenging you. Find your area of interest in this country. If you have education in a particular idea, whether in forestry, whether in agriculture, you have a role to play. They are saying foods are expensive, things are done like this and that. If you know you have an idea in agriculture, look for like minds. Pick up your video, phone, do some video, encourage young people to go. Because everybody assumes that when you go to university, you need that certificate to go and look for job. No, that is not the reason why you go to university. University is not where they teach you how to go and look for job. It is where you gather knowledge to create job. So normally, I don't expect anybody who has been to the university to be looking for job, because you are meant to be creating jobs. I want to artisan. I went to school of tech. I want anybody, they employ them. But if you have gone to university to gather knowledge, you now look what is lacking in your society. How do you create employment? The way somebody like Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook. He wasn't looking for a job. He created, look at how many people now working under this. And a subset of this portal, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, subset of it are other forms of employment that your education can allow you to create other employment from. So if the police cannot, in their honesty, and say, now, when the news broke, nobody ever told us. They removed the question of whether somebody came into the house and was a nurse injected MOHBAD. Could possibly come and react and will be asking, even if you're going to ask the government to assume, the pressure will still be reasonable. Could it possible? Even can get to call Kawirara, except you have ulterior motive. If before your eyes somebody came to treat your husband, your brother, your cousin, or your nephew, and in the course of treating the person, injection, and the person dies in the process, that should be the first thing you report to the public. So whoever threw those videos of Samilari and the rest of others, though those contents are crucial, it's not something we should encourage. But at this point, to jẹ́ pé ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lójú ẹ̀yin mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀fà yẹn ni pé ara ẹni yóò yá ọ nǹkankan ṣe ẹni ọ̀kan dẹ̀ wá láti ta ó wá tọ́jú ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ gbá lábẹ́rẹ́ lójú yín. Don't assume that because ó ń gbá lábẹ́rẹ́ yẹn ó ní right láti ó lè jẹ́ pé at the end of the day they realize she's not even a qualified nurse. Does that mean that you should allow people to come and do? It's something that we have to learn from. That okay, you know you are not fit to do this. It's where your anger as the wife, as the brother, as the uncle should be that. Story to your we will still demand justice for him. But you saw the story as if he died out of depression, or they attacked him in the house, or they actually sent somebody to come and buy him in the house. And somebody's career was extinguished. Maybe it's temporarily suspended, if God wish, if he doesn't have a hand in it. If the final investigation and everything comes out and he doesn't have a hand in it, I only believe that that career was suspended for him also to learn. But how do you phantom it as a police officer if eventually te wa ṣèwádìí ẹ wá rí pé èèyàn wà nulẹ̀ pẹ̀lú yín irú ọwọ́ wo? Okay, how is it possible kọ́wọ́ yẹn máa ṣe ẹ̀jẹ̀ láti Ìkòròdú? Somebody got injured at a show. The organizers of a show are aware that he got injured, if truly they were aware. And then they did not even provide health care, like let's take you to a chemist. Then they should bring in the Okubana chief priest or whoever has performed the show. Did you see him with wounded hand and the hand is now bleeding? Is that how you care less about your artist? So possible ki risky ṣe be yen ko ni ko ma lo le ni. How much more? MOHBAD. He's also a big artist at that time. So possible ko pe àwọn tó ní show pé ṣé ẹ gbọ́ torí kó tó wọnú mọ́tò kò ṣá possible tó bá jẹ́ pé ó ṣèṣe lọ́wọ́ tọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ń bẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ condition tó máa fi gbé kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé MOHBAD ti ṣèṣe ariwo máa lọ. Kílẹ̀kùn mú mi lọ́wọ́ bí tí mo bá tambolo tèmi kílẹ̀kùn mi lọ́wọ́ party yẹn ó yìí máa react ní kápá kọ́ máa rí yé ilẹ̀kùn tí kúyẹ̀ FABIYI lọ ọ máa ṣe sọ kápá tí wà sọ olórin tó yẹ pé òun lèèyàn wá wò. So báwo ló ṣe wá di pé ó ń bẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ìwọ ìyàwó tó rẹ̀ ní ó wà nú mọ́tò same mọ́tò yẹn náà ni ó sọ pé wọ́n gbá ní ẹ̀ṣẹ́ ó gbọ́ ọmọ oṣù márùn-ún sọ́wọ́ báwo ló ṣe bọ́lẹ̀ with ọmọ oṣù márùn-ún lọ́wọ́ tó ń breastfeed. To come down, you need to shift your buttocks. Wàá sún di kó tó lè bọ́lẹ̀. Ta ló gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ kó tó di kó bọ́lẹ̀? Nbo ló lọ. Wọ́n fẹ́ lọ́kọ̀ ẹ̀ ṣìṣe lọ́wọ́ ò síbẹ̀. Nígbà tó máa fọ lábẹ́rẹ́ tó máa kú ò síbẹ̀. Èwo ló wá wà ń bẹ̀ gangan. Bọ̀ nígbà tó fẹ́ dúnú mọ́ tó fẹ́ tẹ̀lé pé dandan wọ́n tẹ̀lé gbọmọ oṣù márùn-ún tẹ̀lé lọ sí show. Ó wà bẹ́ẹ̀. And ọlọ́pàá dé interrogate interview. Èèyàn gbọmọ oṣù márùn-ún lọ sí show. Kọ́kọ́ gbọmọ yẹn lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. I don't want to know the kind of love tó wà láàrin kí fẹ́ yẹn máa jóná kó máa yeruku. You cannot take a fight. Oh, lè gbé lọ sùúrù show yẹn because wọ́n máa fa igbó ń bẹ̀ wọ́n máa mú ọgbà àwọn tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ máa wà under the influence of alcohol. The same ìyá MOHBAD sọ pé tí ẹ̀ dúró náà yà bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti rí ó ṣe máa gbọ́ ọmọ oṣù márùn-ún lọ kó tí wàá jẹ́ ọmọ mi ni. Ó ṣe máa gbọ́ oṣù márùn-ún lọ síbi tí wọ́n ti ń fa igbó tó ti ń mu ọtí àmupara tó ti ń mu ọtí àmújà ń bẹ̀ nílùú òyìnbó gan Àṣàkẹ́ lọ ṣe show nígbà tí ó di stampede àwọn èèyàn kú